What's up, Meg?
Hey.
We're back. We're doing it again. Your Town Podcast. Anybody listening? What's up, Your Townians? I feel like that's going to stick.
I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad, right?
Your Townians.
Your Townians. We're trying something different this week. This story came in as requested by somebody, Matt Tynan. Shout out Matt Tynan for recommending this story. Somewhat near us in an area that I think he either saw recently, whether it was a post or whether maybe he saw it in person, saw one of those, what are they, the blue or those red historic signs and said, hey, you guys should do something about this. So again, it's a little bit different, maybe in the fact that maybe somebody doesn't get murdered in this one, or maybe they do.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ooh, maybe we'll get two dun-dun-duns in one episode.
Maybe.
But again, this is somewhat local to us. Of course, we live in an area that nothing's really close. So this one is kind of close to us. And before we get into this, though, let's give a shout out to the Deluxe Edition Network, shouldn't we, Meg?
Let's do it.
It's March, so podcast of the month is Bacon is My Pod and the Beard Laws Podcast. Go check them out, deluxeeditionnetwork.com. So, yeah, what do you think? You ever been near Lake Ontario?
As a matter of fact, I have.
Ooh, have you ever heard of the Durand Eastman Park?
Nope.
Okay. Well, nestled along the shores of Lake Ontario, which you might have heard of, in upstate New York, Durand. They call it upstate, but is it upstate? Yeah, I guess it's upstate. It's not northern. Let's not have that argument here. Durand Eastman Park is renowned for its natural beauty, tranquil surroundings, but beneath its serene exterior lies a legend shrouded in mystery. The legend of the White Lady.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's where I was expecting it the whole time.
That one was better than the first one.
That was good. It was good. I don't know. Should we do the intro before we really dive into this?
Sure.
It's either gonna work or it's not. But you audio listeners, shout out to you. I've been editing it in, and we'll see what it does. You think it's gonna work?
I have my fingers crossed on both hands.
Ooh, don't hurt him. Here we go. Welcome back. I heard it. Maybe you did too. But if you didn't, it's okay. Man, what a cool intro. We could do better. But it's pretty good, right?
I like it.
All right. As long as you like it. Let's get into this story. Again, it's something a little bit different. We've done some true crime type stuff. We've done, some local stuff from, way back in the day. We've done some stuff that wasn't that far, back, even though we decided we're a little bit older. So let's do something again that was recommended, kind of something a little bit ghosty, a little bit paranormal, with a little bit of some local lure. So Let's do a thing. In the quaint town of Irondequoit, I don't know how to say that.
Irondequoit.
Yep, that's exactly what I said. If you rewind it back, I said the same thing. Just outside of Rochester. Maybe I even said it on purpose. I did practice it, but I think it's at this point where just words are bad. We've even got some comments that are like, maybe if you reread that and practiced a couple times, it wouldn't sound so dumb. But I think it's authentic, and I'm sorry that I sound dumb. Just kidding. I'm not. Let's keep rolling. Lies the sprawling expanse of Durand Eastman Park. This haven of nature draws in hikers and outdoor enthusiasts alike, seeking solace and adventure amidst its pristine landscapes. Yet, amidst the tranquility, a whispered legend lingers, drawing a different breed of visitors to its gates. Far from the typical seekers of natural beauty, these individuals arrive with a singular purpose: to seek out the decaying remnants of a structure known as White Lady's Castle. Perched near the shores of Lake Ontario along the windswept expanse of Lakeshore Boulevard, the castle's crumbling walls beckon to those with a taste of mysterious and the supernatural. So before the serene landscape of Durand Eastman Park took shape, this area was home to a reclusive woman and her teenage daughter. The daughter possessed a striking beauty that captured the attention of numerous young suitors in the surrounding community. Despite the allure of the advances, the daughter remained under the watchful eye of her overprotective mother, who kept her sheltered within the confines of their isolated estate. Sounds like a Disney movie.
It does.
Maybe this it is. I actually heard this was the original location of the movie Tangled.
Ooh.
And what is it? Tangled and Rapunzel.
Rapunzel.
Yeah, that whole nature. Nature. Disney movie.
Nature.
I don't.
Came from out of left field.
Well, the castle and nature. Rapunzel let down your hair. She's in the middle of the woods with nature. They're going on the hikes in the nature. Nature over nurture, they say. All right. So the mother, wary of the intentions of these young men, issued stern warnings to her daughter, cautioning her against the dangers that lurked beyond their secluded abode. She painted a picture of deceit and treachery, emphasizing the unsavory motives that she believed drove these suitors. Despite her daughter's respectful adherence to her mother's wishes, a longing for companionship stirred within her, hidden away in the depths of her heart.
Sounding more like it.
You know what? I'm pretty much writing ourselves a Disney tale, so you're welcome, everybody. But one fateful night, the daughter, overcome by a yearning for freedom and companionship, ventured beyond the confines of her home to stroll along the moonlight shores of the lake, which is a great scene, right?
Mm.
No? You
Yeah.
don't like the moonlight shores of the lake?
I said, yeah,
Oh.
I do.
As the hours stretched on, the night wore thin. Her mother anxiously awaited her return, her heart heavy with worry and apprehension.
Oh, no.
As dawn broke on the horizon, you're never going to believe this, Meg, but the daughter's absence lingered like a haunting specter in the mother's mind. In her desperation to make sense of the situation, she clung to the belief that her daughter had succumbed to the allure of a young suitor and eloped into the night. You ever elope?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Yet, whispers of doubt began to weave their way into the fabric of her thoughts. Some among the townsfolk refused to accept the simple explanation of a young girl's flight into the arms of love. They speculated that the daughter's unwavering devotion to her mother was too profound to lead her astray. Instead, they whispered of darker possibilities, of foul play and sinister deeds lurking in the shadows of the night. In their eyes, the daughter's sudden disappearance bore the unmistakable markings of tragedy, leaving behind a mother haunted by uncertainty and grief.
Mm.
I couldn't imagine. The mother, consumed by anguish and unable to shake the gnawing uncertainty that plagued her every waking moment, found solace in the ritual of her nightly wanderings. With her faithful companions, 2 white dogs by her side, she traversed the desolate expanse of the area, her heart heavy with sorrow and longing. What kind of dogs do you think they are? What kind of white dogs? Thinking poodles?
I'm going to say Pyrenees.
Okay, that's what we're going to think they are. So as the moon cast its glow upon the landscape, the grief-stricken old woman clad in a white dress became a familiar sight to those who chanced upon her nightly vigils. Night after night she roamed the quiet paths, her footsteps echoing the rhythm of her shattered heart. Years stretch into eternity, each passing night marked by the silent lament of a mother's undying love. Yet despite her tireless efforts, the daughter remained forever beyond her grasp, lost to the I lost my place here.
Enigmatic.
Yeah, embrace of the night. In the end, the weight of her sorrow proved too heavy a burden to bear. Alone, heartbroken, the old woman breathed her final breath, her spirit joining that of her beloved daughter in the eternal embrace of the night. And though her earthly vigil may have come to an end, the legend of the White Lady endured, a testament of the enduring power of love and loss that lingers in the shadows of Durand Eastman Park. And as the years passed, and the once, just beautiful looking castle started to kind of succumb to the relentless march of time, its grandeur faded into obscurity, reduced to nothing more than a crumbling foundation hidden amidst the overgrown foliage. In its absence, a new chapter unfolded, a chapter steeped in the whispers of teenage romance and rendezvous. And I mean, that weather on the lake is brutal, from the winds to the snow to the ice, everything else. So, and again, now we're, just kind of this old castle in the middle of a forest in nature. People are drawn by the allure of the seclusion and privacy. Young couples, they begin to frequent the area, transforming the abandoned ruins into their own secluded haven, a lover's lane tucked away from prying eyes. Yet, their pursuits were soon overshadowed by reports of uncanny and the inexplicable. Whispers began to circulate among the townsfolk, tales of spectral apparitions that haunted the desolate ruins and the surrounding landscape. Many of these young couples in the throes of passion, found themselves abruptly confronted by chilling presence. A white figure, accompanied by what?
2 ghostly dogs. I take that back.
Okay. Wait.
I'm thinking more of like an Irish wolfhound.
Oh, big dogs. They're big dogs, right?
Yeah.
Are they white?
They can be.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So you get the woman, the 2 dogs. Some have claimed to have witnessed the apparition rising from the depths of the lake itself, a ghostly specter wreathed in mist and shadow. Its form flanked by the phantom figures of 2 Doberman dogs.
Dobermans aren't white.
Not white at all, but this is what some have claimed. So, I mean, an Irish wolfhound could resemble a Doberman, right? I'm trying to help you out here. Not so much?
I'm going back to the picture in my head.
Okay, go back to the picture. These encounters, shrouded in fear and uncertainty, cast a pall of unease over the once beautiful setting, leaving behind a legacy of dread and mystery that continues to linger in the hearts and minds of those who dare to venture into the shadows of Durand Eastman Park. As the sands of time continue to flow, the tragic tale of the mother and daughter become woven into the very fabric of local lore, a haunting reminder of love lost and the enduring enduring power of grief. Generations passed, yet the memory of their plight interred, whispered from one lips to the next, a testament to the resilience of stories that transcend bounds of time. So in the shadows of Durand Eastman Park, the remnants of their once happy home took on a new identity. The White Lady Castle, a solemn tribute to the spectral figure that had become synonymous with the land itself. And so the legend lives on, etched in the very landscape that bore witness to the sorrow. Let's fast forward today. The park teems with the footsteps of curious locals and intrepid ghost hunters alike, drawn to the allure of the White Lady Castle and the mysteries that linger within its crumbling walls. They gather in the twilight hours, their hearts brimming with anticipation, hoping for a fleeting glimpse of the entity that haunts these hallowed grounds. As the night descends and shadows dance upon the earth, they stand vigil, retelling the legend of the White Lady and the tragic fate that befell her and her daughter. Though the truth may remain shrouded in the mists of time, their stories serve as a reminder of the enduring power of the myth and the echoes of the past that linger in the present. That's pretty wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happened to the daughter?
I don't know.
Like I said, there's so many things. Like the first thing that kind of came to me, and
it wasn't like a storm or anything, right?
I didn't see anything about a storm. And of course, we have many different sources when I was doing the research, from weirdus.com, wgpfoundation.org, Wikipedia. We love Wikipedia. Or a couple of different places that we did get some of this information. And I didn't see anything about a storm. And it's just kind of hard, because you want to think, this person, you know what I mean, was overprotected, wasn't able to do anything, maybe just said, I had enough, and ended up in the lake,
Mm-hmm.
But again, you never really know. Hopefully, like some of the rumors, there's a lot of boys knocking on this castle door. Maybe she just said, hey, get me out of here, Prince Charming. Kissed the frog, and away they went.
Those rocks can get slippery too by the shore.
Very, very much so. I wonder what happened too. Like,
what year was this?
Well, it didn't say, because it's kind of one of those.
Myth.
Yeah, I don't know if there's obviously they know there was a castle, then there was a mother, the daughter, and stuff like that. So, obviously, weirdus.com has a lot of cool stuff. But what they also did is in this book, they have some actual stories that were told by a couple of people that have seen some things. So what do you think? Should we at least read one?
Yeah,
maybe a couple. One of them, again, this is weirdus.com. There was one called The White Lady's Revenge. And it says, I first visited the White Lady's Castle, not knowing any of the legends associated with it. My friends had just heard that it was a good drinking spot where kids from different schools kind of got together. Let's cause some trouble. So they made their way down there, hoping to join a party. And there were a lot of teenage people who were hung out there on the weekends, at least in the 80s And as it says here, I was one of the proper teenage people. What's that? Miscreating? Not really sure what that means. That's a big word. It must have been right out of the 80s. So was I, but I wasn't reading in the 80s. Then it says, when we got there, it seemed unimpressive. Just an old foundation tucked away in the park. But the locals filled us in on the real deal. The place told us all about the lady who used to live in the building who showed up looking for her daughter. They were told that when she was particularly aggressive towards men, especially ones who were disrespectful to women. One story they told us was a real wannabe tough guy. You know, the type high school jock, thinks he's hot shit, says whatever he wants to anyone at any time. The type of guy that, most people despise, but who for some reason runs the show and gets the girl in those teenage years. Well, he had this girl in high school, and everyone knew he was hitting her, cussing her out, all sorts of awful things. So one day he brought her back to the park to make out in the car, and she did something wrong, spilled the soda on him or something trivial like that, and he went nuts. Started yelling at her, calling her stupid, even shook her up a little bit physically. Well, the next thing anyone knows, there was a white flash out of the car and the sound of something banging against the door. He turned around, freaked out, thinking someone's messing with him. Being a testosterone-ridden jockey, gets out looking for a fight, only to come face to face with the white lady. No one knows exactly what he saw or what happened, but the girl told everyone that when he got in the car, his face was all scratched and he wouldn't speak. He was never the same. He barely graduated high school. He became totally antisocial. Nowadays, he lives with his parents, never leaves the house, sits silent in his room all day watching TV. Now, I don't know that this is a true story. In fact, I never heard anyone tell it except a specific group of guys, and I've heard stories about this place for decades. But to be standing at the White Lady's castle hearing about how the White Lady hates men, knowing you came out looking for trouble, well, that put a little fear in you. And that was Ray J from Rochester, New York. It's an interesting one, huh?
Right.
Here's, you want to read another one?
Sure.
You want to read this one or me?
You can.
Okay, I will. White Ladies Down by the Lake. My friends and I have seen the White Lady many times. She is kind of a guardian of these parts. She lost her daughter many years ago. Now her ghost walks around looking for her daughter's killer. My friends and I, all the girls, always agreed that she seemed very peaceful yet extremely sad. She appears as kind of sort of a mist or fog that is shaped vaguely like a woman and moves around very slowly. They have seen her down near the lake, never near the castle. And that's Felicia. Then there's, I think, there's one by Janet. Want to do the last one? She didn't see the White Lady, and she's glad. And this says, again, this is from WeirdUS.com. I live in Rochester, New York, about 10 miles in the town of Charlotte, not North Carolina, is a very large park called Durand Eastman. One of the main roads that runs along this park is called Lakeshore Boulevard. Lakeshore Boulevard runs parallel to Lake Ontario. Lake Ontario is on one side of the Lakeshore Boulevard, and Durand Eastman Park is on the other. Off of Lakeshore Boulevard, on the park side, set back far from the road, are the remnants of a castle. Legend has it that the White Lady had a daughter who disappeared at the hands of a predatory young suitor. And so the White Lady roams the lakefront to this very day searching for her missing daughter. The supposed residence of the White Lady is actually the base of a demolished hotel that was built in the 1800s.
So that kind of gives us a time frame.
There we go. Yeah, I figured it was older, but like I said, in any of the research, there wasn't an exact date, which is a little bit sad about. I should have had a year. I'm sorry. I'll do a follow up. Known as the White Lady's Castle, it has become a very popular tourist attraction and party site for teenagers. In my late teens, again, this is Janet. She heard about this legend from her boyfriend and his friends. So one summer afternoon in broad daylight, they had to go check it out. Once they got to the site, some of the friends started jumping on the remains. At that point, very broken concrete stairs and surrounding old wall stump and running around the area. Everything was very overgrown. You could see the other kids had been there probably to party and spook themselves. Janet says she found a place to stand and then sit. I remember the woods were very quiet and you couldn't hear the traffic anymore from the street. It wasn't exactly unpleasant, but I was relieved when we all decided to head back to the car. I have heard that the White Lady is visible mostly at night during a full moon, and that she is always accompanied by 2 large dogs.
Irish wolfhounds.
Irish wolfhounds that kind of look like Doberman hounds. Wolf Doberman hounds. Wonder what those would look like. Interesting. We got a quote. You want to do the quote? Or you want me to do the quote?
I can do it.
Do the quote.
To the living we owe respect, but to the dead we owe only the truth. And that's Voltaire.
Yeah. What do you think of that? It was different, right?
Yeah.
I will. Interested to all of the Yorktownians what you think of that episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it, because I know I've enjoyed the last 20 minutes hanging out with you, Meg, and can't thank everybody for taking some time out of their busy day and listen to us for whatever reason, whether you're driving, pretending to work, or actually working and just have something in your ear. But we'll be back next week with another episode. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a spoiler alert. It's going to be true crime style. We have a couple true crime episodes that are pretty wild that I'm super excited to get into. But again, shout out Matt for giving us this episode. Greatly appreciate it. Sorry for the dings that just happened. Windows popped up and said restart to install the latest Windows updates. Come on, man. All right.
I always forget how big Lake Ontario is.
It's pretty big. Yep. Pretty big.
Imagine it could be easy to get lost in.
I would have to imagine, and maybe I guarantee you there has been some people, and I think we've done some other stories that have featured Lake Ontario. Definitely some on the St. Lawrence, some Lake Ontario. We've done a lot in New York. We've also hit 16 of the 50 states, so maybe we'll hit another state in one of these true crime ones. But if you have a story that you want us to do, to look up, to get writing, please shoot us a message on the Instagram, emails. Check out yourtown.com. There's a cool map where we pin every single location of a story that we have done. So, all right, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day, your evening, your morning, and we can't thank you enough. Until next time, this is the Your Town Podcast.
Bye.